Hello guys, this is Naveen here. Welcome back. So guys, today I'm going to cover a very quick topic that is a very simple thing. That is, what is JSON? Okay, a lot of people they are asking that. Okay, they are confused at why we are using JSON and what exactly the purpose of JSON. And at the time of interview also, they are asking that. Okay, how will you parse the JSON and what do you mean by JSON? Either in REST API automation, or if you're doing any API web services automation, or in fact any mobile development also. And if you're doing any backend testing, you must know that what do you mean by JSON. Okay, so guys, some people say that it's a JSON, some people call it's a JSON. Okay, so actual the pronunciation is JSON, but the standard pronunciation in industry we use it's JSON. Okay, so you can either, it's up to you. Most I call it JSON. Okay, so what is JSON? So JSON stands for, guys, JavaScript Object Notation. First of all, what do you mean by JSON? What is the purpose of this? So very basic purpose of JSON is, guys, to transfer the information from one system to another system, or maybe you can say there is a communication is happening between client and the server. So client is sending the request to the server and server is giving the response in the form of JSON. Okay, let's see, two systems are communicating with each other. So two systems are communicating in the form of JSON. Okay, so today I'll teach you that what do you mean by JSON. And so if you know JSON, then you will understand the architecture well, your application architecture well. You can discuss with the developers, okay, in a more technical way, right? So quickly I'll draw one very simple diagram. That, let's see, this is my client. Okay, this is my client, and let's see, this is my server. Okay, I'll write, let's see, this is some client. It can be any browser or any site you are accessing through some browser. Okay, let's see, this is my server. Very simple term I'm using, client and server architecture. So client is simple, is sending the request to this guy to server. Okay, and this is called HTTP request. Okay guys, this is called HTTP request, is being sent to the server. Now, server is sending the same response, kind of response, to the client on the basis of the request. That what kind of response? So this is called HTTP response. Okay. Now this server and the client communication is happening. The response is coming in the form of JSON object. So what happens, guys? This is communication is happening in the form of JSON object. Now, why we use JSON? First of all, we should understand what is JSON. So JSON is simple. It's a JavaScript object notation. It's just like an object. Okay, but it's a very raw form. It's very lightweight. That it's available in the form of basic attributes, key and value pair format. Okay, so the typical format, I'll tell you that simple. It starts with like this, starting bracket like this and ending bracket like this. Let's see, I have an object, employee object, and in this particular employee object I have a couple of variables like employee ID, employee department name, salary, right? Or maybe some other how many mobile phones this particular employee is having. So the typical object, it will be like this, like employee ID. Okay, and then, guys, we have to use like this, employee ID. So this is a typical format. Then we have to use colon. Okay, employee ID. So just like in Java object, we write employee ID is equal to Naveen. So in JSON object, the equivalent JSON object, it will be like this, employee ID colon, let's see, name is Tom, right? Let's see, employee name, let's see, employee ID is 1. I'll write like this, and then you have to put comma, and then I'm writing employee name is Tom. Okay, employee name is Tom, then comma, then let's see what is salary. Let's see, the salary is 5,000, right? Don't put semicolon, we have to use comma, and between key and value pair you have to use this colon, guys. This is important in JSON. Okay, and okay, so let's see, these are the three different attributes I have created in this particular JSON. Okay, this is the JSON object for employee object. So what exactly is happening? Server is sending this particular information to the client. Client is saying that, okay, please send me the employee information. Okay, So server will send this information to the client. Employee ID is equal to 1, employee name is Tom, salary is equal to 5,000, like this. So at the server side, guys, we have Java object. At the server side, we have some programming object. Let's see, maybe it can be Java, Ruby, or maybe .NET, Python, Java, Node.js. It can be anything. So let's see the typical format of the object of employee. It will be like this, that we have one class employee, and then in this particular class we have different object like this, like let's see, my class name is employee, and the employee, you know, this is the employee ID. Okay, one attribute is there, employee ID, and then we have one attribute that is employee name. Okay, then we have some attribute like salary, right? We have one this particular attribute that is salary. Okay, in typical Java class like this, right? So this is the object. I would say this is the employee object in, let's see, in any programming language. Let's see, it can be in Java or .NET or Python. Okay, so that object is available here at the server side, because at the server side we deploy our code. The developers, they have written some Java code, they have created one employee object. How to create the object? Simple, like employee emp is equal to new employee, like this. So let's see, the employee, the object reference name is emp. Okay, this is the object name. Okay, but I cannot send this particular object directly, this Java object, to the client. So what exactly we do at the server side, we convert this into this employee object, this particular object, into JSON, and then we display the things on the UI. Why we do that? Because I cannot display this employee object, because it will be so difficult to parse it, because you never know, because client doesn't understand what is Java object, client doesn't understand what is .NET object, client doesn't understand what is Python or Ruby or Node.js object. Because this, on the server side, the programming language, it can be anything, it can be Java, C Sharp, .NET, Python, anything. But the JSON is a universal, I would say, universal notation to transfer the information. So we convert this object, so we write like this, we convert this object into JSON, right? We convert this object into JSON. Okay, and then again, whatever the programming language at the client side you are using, let's see, you are using some Android iPhone, or maybe Android phone or iPhone, okay, or maybe some Java program that you have written in the client side, then you are converting the JSON into the particular object according to the client side programming. Okay, or maybe let's say they are using JavaScript. Okay, at the client side some web application is there. So again, we are doing this conversion, this object to JSON conversion, it is available at the server side. Okay, and this is at the client side, guys. This is at the client side. So this transformation is happening in between, right? So we are sending the request. The server is what exactly? Oh, request is for the employee. So the server knows that, okay, according to the business logic and whatever the programming logic they have written, okay, it will fetch this particular employee object. Okay, it will communicate with a database and everything. It will take all the information about the employee ID is equal to 1, Tom, salary is equal to 5,000, convert into JSON object. Okay, and then it will be given to client. And the client at the UI side, let's see, client, it can be anything. It can be, let's see, some Android phone. Okay, it can be some Android phone, or maybe some iOS device, or maybe some web app, web application. So let's see, Android is available in Java. So Android, the client side, they have written code in Java. Okay, written code in Java. At the iOS side, let's see, they have written some Swift language, or maybe Objective C. Okay, Objective C they have written. At the web application side, it can be any JavaScript, right? So at the client side, this kind of technology, let's see, we are using. So what exactly we are doing at the client side, this is the kind of thing we are using. So server is sending one simple JSON object. This is a JSON object. Android guy will convert this JSON object into object. Okay, iOS guy will convert this JSON object into Swift or Objective C, so that it can be displayed on the iOS mobile phone. And the web application, the JavaScript guys like AngularJS or React.js people are using, they convert this JSON object into a simple JavaScript object and display on the UI. Simple. So that's why we always see that, okay, the good look and feel and everything is, okay, available in the form of HTML. Okay, and in mobile phone we are seeing the data. So what exactly they are doing? They're converting this object into JSON and JSON to object. like that at the client side, and object to JSON at the server side. Now we have different technologies like object to JSON conversion. How will you convert object to JSON? So far we have a Google JSON API. If you guys heard about it, Google JSON API is available. Jackson API is available. Okay, these are the APIs are available in Java, or maybe .NET guys, they will use some other APIs. Okay, to convert object to JSON or JSON to object. Okay, so Google JSON is there. Jackson APIs are there. Simple JSON is there. Okay, simple JSON is there, or JSON's one of the API, that is JSON Soup API, is there. So these are the APIs which are available to convert your object to, okay, your object to JSON conversion. Okay, so this process is called, guys, object to JSON. Okay, this process is called marshalling. Okay, this process is called marshalling. So they will ask you at a time of interview that, okay, what do you mean by marshalling or unmarshalling? So object to JSON is called marshalling. Okay, but the same, the vice versa, JSON to object is called unmarshalling. That you are converting your JSON object into the respective client language, the respective, either it can be HTML, either it can be Java, .NET, or Android, or iOS, or whatever the device they were using, what programming language they are using, you are converting that particular JSON object into this thing. Okay, guys. Now this is a typical, very simple JSON object. We have taken the example. But at the server side, let's see, this is the employee object. We have simple attribute, employee ID will be in a string, employee name will be in a string, let's see, salary will be in integer. But let's see, this employee is having 3 phones. Okay, this employee is having, let's see, 3 departments: admin department, accounts department, or HR department. This employee is related to 3 different departments, or maybe is having three mobile phones, and you want to fetch this information. So at the server side in the object, what exactly we will do? Let's see, list object we will maintain. It can be any number of different attributes combined together. So it can be any collection also, or maybe list, or maybe any hash map. Okay, so list of mobile. Okay, one object is there, list of mobile also. So the JSON provides that capability. It can convert all these attribute, all these single attributes into these JSON objects. Plus it can convert this list object also into JSON array. Okay, guys. So normal, always remember, guys, Java object will be converted into simple JSON object, and Java array, it can be Java array, it can be any collection, it can be any array list or list object. It will be converted into JSON array. Okay, so it will be converted into JSON array over here. Okay, now in that case, so this is a simple JSON object we have created. Now if you convert, let's see what is the presentation of JSON array. So let's see, I have this particular object that, again, the JSON, this is a JSON will start, okay, like this. Okay, and then let's see, my, again I'll write employee ID is 1. Okay, don't forget to put comma, otherwise it is a syntax error. Employee ID, employee name, colon. Okay, key and value pair format both are, okay, segregated by colon. Let's see, employee ID name is again Tom, comma, salary, and let's see, salary is again 5,000, something like this, comma, and the list of mobile. So list of mobile will be represented, guys, like this, mobile. Okay, like this. And what exactly we have to write? Like this, mobile, colon, and square bracket. Okay, so this mobile, let's see, it's having 3 different mobiles. Let's see, Samsung, and the model is, let's see, S1. I'm just giving you one very simple basic example. Okay, Samsung, and maybe, or Apple iPhone is, let's see, iPhone 8. Okay, comma, and let's see, this guy is having one more phone, that is, let's see, Motorola. Okay, Motorola, whatever, let's see, model is M1. Okay, so this is, now if you see, this is a typical, okay, example of JSON having three attributes: employee ID, employee name, and salary. These are simple JSON objects. Okay, and this is a complete JSON object. Inside this JSON object, we can have multiple JSON objects as well as we can have JSON array. And inside the JSON array, again, we can have JSON objects like this. So employee ID is again JSON object, employee name, salary we have, and then we have mobile. How mobile is a JSON array. How will you get to know that, okay, this is a JSON array? Because after mobile, we have written this square bracket, okay, starting here and ending here. And this mobile array, we have three different JSON objects, that is Samsung, Apple, and Motorola. So we send this information to the client side, and now the client side, let's see, I have written Java or maybe JavaScript. So it will be very simple to understand that. Simple, I'll get the information mobile dot Samsung, mobile dot Apple, mobile dot Motorola. The moment I write mobile dot Samsung, I'll get S1. Mobile dot Apple, I'll get iPhone 8. Mobile dot Motorola, I'll get M1. If I write, let's see, and this JSON object is represented by one JSON object name that is called EMP. It is written over here like this. I'll write, it is like this, EMP colon. Okay, now if I want to fetch the information of employee ID, simple, I'll use emp.employee ID. I want to fetch the information of Samsung, so emp.mobile.samsung. I'll write at the client side and then I'll display on the UI. Okay, it is up to them how exactly in Java we are using, how exactly in Swift and Objective-C in iOS, in Apple devices we are using, and web application also, if it is written in JavaScript, how exactly we are accessing the value. So for all of these technology, for all of these guys, at the client side, either it is Android, iOS, or web app, it's so easy to fetch this information. Okay, now JSON came into the picture in the market, let's see, from last 5 years. But what is happening before the 5 years? So before the 5 years, guy, it was happening. The server was sending the complete information in the form of HTML. Okay, the server is directly sending one information to, okay, to the client in the form of HTML. But that is like, again, it's a tedious task, because at the server side we have to write some code that, okay, that send the complete HTML code to the client, and the same HTML code with the CSS and everything will be displayed on the UI. That is helpful for static content. I have one, let's see, some hotel website. Okay, this particular hotel is there, and 3-4 static pages, standard pages are there. These are not dynamic pages are there. In that case, server can send this information, HTML information or HTML pages to the client, and we will display to the user. But nowadays, lot of dynamic content we have to create, lot of dynamic objects, pages we have to create. In that case, let's see, so many employees are there, right? Let's see, some e-commerce application. For each and every product, we have different information. Daily basis prices are getting changed. Daily basis discounts are getting changed, right? So value, data, information are so dynamic. The pages are so dynamic in nature. In that case, we cannot survive with HTML. You have to write lot of logic to convert that static page into dynamic. So that's why JSON came into the picture. And JSON says that, okay, server side we will send this particular JSON. Now it's a responsibility at the client side, you just convert this JSON into the respective object. If you're using Java, convert that into Java object. If you're using Swift or Objective-C, convert that into Swift object or JS object or JavaScript object. So JSON is, that's why we call JavaScript Object Notation. It is easily readable by any kind of programming, and we have different APIs are available. I'll take some examples of Java, that we have Google JSON, Jackson API, Simple JSON, okay, JSON Soup APIs are available. Okay, but before JSON, still like people are using XML also. So XML is again kind of data transformation resource which can transfer the data between two systems in the form of XML. Okay, but XML again, it's having its own limitation in terms of it's very complex. Okay, it's very heavy also, because XML is completely based on nodes. Okay, but JSON is very lightweight. It's available in the form of JavaScript Object Notation. So easily it can be converted into any kind of object by using this concept, marshalling and unmarshalling. Okay guys, marshalling and unmarshalling, that's very important. What does it mean by marshalling? Marshalling means convert your object into JSON, and JSON to object is called unmarshalling. Okay, so if you had heard this term that we are converting pozo means plain old Java object. Converting pozo into JSON is called marshalling. Okay, and again JSON to Java object. We don't say Java object, we call pozo. Pozo means plain old Java object, and this is called unmarshalling. Okay guys, so this is happening. These two mechanisms, they might ask you at a time of interview that how will you convert your pozo object into JSON? What is the client server architecture? What is the REST API SOA architecture that we are, how exactly the JSON REST API that your developers they have created? You must know about it. In fact, if you're discussing with your developers also, or your maybe your architect also in your company, so they are using these kind of terminologies. And as a tester, you should not be blank that no, I'm just into testing and I'm not aware about these kind of things. I'm not bothered about it. No, you should bother about it, guys. To understand the to understand the concept, to understand the architecture and the technology, what exactly are happening at the background in the system, in the backend. Okay, how exactly they are converting JSON to object, object to JSON. Okay, so it gives a kind of a presentation, that it gives an highlight that yes, you know technology. You are not just a blank or manual tester that you are clicking on a button and getting an error and then you are saying that okay, this is a bug or not. But in the background, what is happening, that it's converting proper, conversion, marshalling and unmarshalling happening properly or not. These kind of bugs you can raise. Okay, especially when you are doing backend testing, guys. This is very, very important. I always say that okay, these things are important to know at the time of, if you're doing any backend testing or web services or API, REST API testing, in fact in automation also. Okay, the complete Selenium WebDriver architecture is completely based on these things. Okay, so you must know. It's not developer responsibility to know all these things. It's your responsibility. It's good for your knowledge skills. Okay, so guys, always remember, this is the kind of things are happening. Okay, so simple JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. It is the data information transfer between two systems. Let's see, I have another server, that this is a server, and I have another payment server, or maybe ICC bank server. This communication between in these two servers. Okay, these two servers also. Let's see, add to cart, and after add to cart I have to make the payment after checkout, and communication between these two systems also, okay, happening through JSON. Okay, so we are sending the request and getting the response in the form of JSON. Sometimes what happens, okay, we are sending the request in the form of JSON also. Okay, I'm passing the JSON object and they will give you one other JSON, different JSON, right? So some example, let's say I'll give you one, the typical JSON. See, this is a typical JSON. You can say that JSON always start with this curly braces, and this particular JSON, one data array is there. How will I get to know that this is a data is an array? This is a JSON array because after data we have this square bracket, and we have four values. This is the first value, this is the second value, this is the third value, and this is the fourth value. Okay, so in this particular data array, which is available at the server side, the data is available, four data, that Ankit Tiwari, Karan, Amit, and Ram is available at the server side. I want to fetch that, okay, like let's see, these four users are available. So my API is that list of all users. So it will give you the complete list of users from the server. Okay, from the server in the form of JSON. So this is a JSON I'm getting from the server. Now as a Java developer, or as a Android developer, or as a web application developer, I'll convert this JSON object into the respective object and display on the UI. Okay, how exactly they are doing, it's their headache. Okay, the Android developer or maybe iOS developer, they are converting into, and that's why we are able to see list of all users in the form of HTML, or in the form of page, or in the form of look and feel on the UI. Okay, but this is a typical example of this. Let's list a particular user. So this is a list of particular user. Now this is not an array. This is simple JSON object. One data object is there. Inside this data object, we have five different attributes. JSON attributes are available. Okay, So guys, this is very important to know what is JSON. So JSON, again I'll repeat, okay, whenever communication is happening between two systems, either it is client or server to server, okay, the data communication purpose we use JSON object. Okay, so that's all for today. I mean, in this particular topic, this is about JSON. Very simple. Okay, we can use XML also. That is again another way of using the communication between two systems. But the latest one is JSON. 99% of the companies in the industry, they are using JSON. If you're fetching the data from database, if you're fetching the data from simple NoSQL databases, or from any third-party servers, or from any cloud servers also, everything is happening in the form of JSON nowadays. Okay, so this will really helpful if you know these terminologies and the concept and the architecture. If you're discussing with your let's see your a dev architect guy, or maybe dev lead or dev team members, okay, in fact at the time of REST API automation, or maybe API testing or backend testing, these kind of knowledge will really help you to understand the JSON, to understand the architecture. Okay, so guys, please just go through this video once again and then have a look and then prepare your notes. And they might, these days a lot of people are asking at a time of interviews also. Okay, you know that, yeah, I know REST API automation, I know SOAP UI, or I know REST assured or HTTP client, but what is JSON, how exactly it's happening? Let's see, you having one round of interview with your technical manager or maybe architect. They are taking interviews, so let's say there is no programming, but they will ask you, okay, on a whiteboard, draw your diagram of your project architecture, technology, in terms of technology. So you have to explain like that. So this is the JSON things we are using, like that. Project architecture, okay, what are the different technology stacks you are using, tools and technology you are using in your project, right? How exactly different servers are there, okay, how exactly number of integration servers or integration APIs are working. So all the integration APIs and everything is working in the form of JSON. Okay, so please, I really realize that, okay, this topic is really important. It's a very short topic, and please go through it. I'm giving you guarantee it will really help you at a time of interview. Plus, at a time of your project related activities also, it will really help you. You can actively participate into in your project discussions and architect discussions and all. It is actually helping me so that I can find some good amount of issues, and it gives you a confidence also once you're discussing with the developers and all. Okay, guys. So that's all for today. And please, if you really like this video, so please subscribe to the channel and please share with your friends, and share on your social media. Like if you really like this video, and there are a lot of videos are coming like this for knowledge point of view and automation point of view and technology point of view. I'll keep uploading. Okay. So that's all. Subscribe to the channel and thank you so much.